Hello guys, welcome back to another tutorial, and we are still trying to complete the building the booking application. But what I want to say is, if you've been able to make it this far, I want to really appreciate your time and say that kind of like good that you've made it this far. Not a lot of people get to this point. Anyway, so with what we are going to do is that I've gone ahead to create various rooms for our application, where I've also added several images. So if you should go back to the previous tutorial, I realize that the images that we are using here are quite different from what we started with. So, and then the description, put in the description, the name, and all of that. But what I also would want to do is to deal with the carousel aspect of the room, where I can still show several room images like a carousel. Okay, so let's try and build the carousel, and then we move to the client aspect of the page. So let's take something like the single room. So what I'd want to do is, instead of just showing one image here, I'll show several, like the images in a form of a carousel. So let's go back to the room. Should be this, and then we should put it around here, somewhere here. So let's say let's bring something like h1, and then you say carousel, like that. Cool. So we bring in the carousel here. So now let's create the component for the carousel. So let's come here, source folder, component, create a folder, we say carousel, and then let's create a new JSX file, carousel.gsx, like that. RAFCE, bring in React, and let's change this to h1, and then we say carousel. Okay, let's create these styles for the carousel so that can be sort of like reusable. Carousel.styles.scss. Yeah. So in here I'll import my styles. I'll say import /carousel, is it small letters, carousel.styles css, like that. Okay, cool. So now let's go back to the room page, and then bring in the carousel. So instead of components, let's go to pages, and then the room, and then let's bring in carousel. So let's import the carousel for somewhere like here. Say import carousel, automatically imports that for us, and then where did we put the carousel? We take off this, and then we bring in the carousel, like that. Cool. All right, everything is working now. So let's go back to but let's check to see the data that we are getting for the image. So inside our use effect, did we dispatch get image, get room? Okay, So we have the room here, and then we dispatch reserve. I don't see why we should do. Okay. Get the rooms here, and then we await. We set the room with the data. Okay, so we have where's the we have the state here. So what we can then is to pass the images to the let's console.log the, let's check what we have in the room and see something. So log room. So that should give us some data. Okay, so what I'd want to pass is the images for the rooms, so which is this one. So we have 1, 2, 3 images in here. Okay, cool. So let's take off this. So inside the carousel, we can say data will be equals to room.img, like that. And then let's go to the data, the carousel component. Then we have our data here, and let's console.log. Let's say usually I'll go like that, and then I'll just console.log our data. Let's see what we have. Yeah, we have 3 images. It's this one in the form of an array. Yeah. So let's start off by creating the carousel. So we say, first of all, we need to bring in use effect, and then use state from React, like that. Okay. So we then set the current index, set the current index, use the use state, which is 0. So if we say something like console.log, console.log, let's say data with current index, we should be getting the first index in the array. Use state. Okay. We should be getting the, what do you have? Why do you have this error? Current index, sorry. We should be getting the first image in the array. So if we should bring in something like an image file, and then have the source to be equals to the data current index, that should give us the first image in the array. So if we say the second image, we should have the second image in the array, something like that. But then what we'd want to do is that we'd want to have that automatically, we want to have that automatically populating Alright, so what we can do is we can say class name equals to, let's give this carousel wrapper, and then we can use the use effect and then have a set interval for every 3 or 5 seconds. So we can say use effect anytime this component loads, I'll say const interval set interval, have this going for every 3 seconds. Yeah, every 3 seconds. Let's say something like console.log interval, like that. So after every 3 seconds, we should be having console.log interval. Let me check if I'm recording. 1 second. Sometimes these things are a bit. Okay, we are recording. Sorry. All right. So this will go on until infinity, but then we can say that we will set current index to be what I want to pass is the previous state, and then I will say if the current index is equal to the data dot length minus 1, then I will return the prev state to be 0. Else I'll say the return previous state plus equals to 1. So when we say we console.log current index, what we should be having is previous state. Okay, we didn't spell it right. Okay, so it's previous state cool. Previous is not defined. Set reference. Oh. Wait. Say if current index is equals to data dot length and data dot length -1, then I want to return the previous state equals to 0. Else I want to return previous state plus 1. Something like this. That's what we having. Yeah. So let's console.log the uh, 17. If the current index is equals to the data dot length -1, previous state, want to set it to be 0 or return +1. Right. let's try something else. Let's say console log current index. Say console log current index like that. What do we get? Refresh. 1. Okay, so we say if current index is equals to data that's length -1. How to set current index to be current, let's say set current index to be 0, else say const new index to be current index +1, and set the current index to be new index like that. Will this work? Cool. Yeah, work. That's not what I want. What I want is that's not what I want. What I want is to set the current index of the previous state, and then I will say if the previous state is equals to data dot length -1, I want to return previous state equals to 0, else return previous state +1. This is what I want. Yeah, cool. Yeah, cool. Works. we have an issue here. So we say dot carousel wrapper, say height 100%, imaging with 100%, height 100%. Okay. Does that make any difference? Yeah, cool. Cool. That's what we want. Also we'd want to clear the interval when the component unmounts. So so we say return, and we say clear interval like that. Interval like that. Cool. So we have, but this time is tweaking a bit. So the previous day equals to data that's length -1. If the previous state is equals to that, then let's try it. Greater or equals to greater than length -1. Okay, wait. Greater that's is equals to that's length -1. Yeah, I think. So let's do this for every 8 seconds. Something like that. That works. Refresh. Cool. But inside the room styles, I'd want to make this a little bit bigger. So I'll come in here and then I'll say not the carousel styles, on the room pages, room styles. So where did we put the height for the we don't need this, and then height, let's do 70 VH. Cool. And then inside the carousel, let's change the style for the image to be object fits to be cover, so that you can probably display the image fit to be cover like that. Cool. All right. I should change 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool. All right. So let's go back to the rooms and then reuse the carousel for the rooms. So inside the rooms pages, when we come to rooms, and room, say rooms, yeah, this one. First of all, let's bring in the carousel. Oh, that'll be in the room list, isn't it? All right, so the room list gives us the image wrapper with that. Okay, so let's import the carousel like that. So instead of displaying this image, we will display the carousel. Display the carousel, and then the data will be the item.img. See what we get. Cool. And that should be changing after every 8 seconds. Cool. How we change it? Cool. Now we have to go in and tweak it a little bit, but I guess you understand the principle here. All right. So more or less we are done with the admin side, but we have to come back and then do something like the booking. So let's go ahead and then start with the client side, where the client will be able to make booking and all of that. So I've gone ahead to create the client side by doing npx. Let's commit this to GitHub first before we proceed. So we'll come back here and then stop the server. Status, and then git add, git commit, and update added carousel to admin UI, and then git push origin master like that. That should take it to the GitHub. Cool. So now the client aspect. So what you can also do is that for the client, you can just do npx create react app, create react app, then client, and then do the template of Redux. That should get us started. So with the client side, what I'd also want to do is come back to the package.json for the server when it starts, and then instead of this I'll say dev admin, and then I'll say dev client, and I'll start my server as well, npm run, let's say client, and in here I'll also duplicate this and say this one should be client, and then this one should be client. Cool. So with the dev client, I'd want to start the server but run the front end for the client, which is npm run start prefix client, and all of that. So let's put that into action. So let's clear the terminal and say npm run dev client. Should start off our client for us. Let's see if we have any errors. It's connected to the database and all of that. When that runs, like, you should give us the front end for the client. So yeah, that starts off pretty cool. All right, so inside our client, I think I left off something. I'd want to see the integrate client and then npm install SaaS like that, so that we can use SaaS in our clients too as well. But pretty much with the Redux for the client, everything will probably be the same as what we had for the admin. So inside the admin, let's start copying some of the files, the code that we wrote for the admin. So what we need is we'll have to be getting the room. So we need the room slice. Let's copy here, and then inside the client source features, let's paste this here. Okay, counter. So inside the app, inside the store, we don't need the counter slice like that. We need to import the room reducer from this. We have to come up on, go into features, room, then room slice like that, and then in here I'll say room reducer like that. That should work. So clear cd data npm run dev client. What do we have? What do we have, boy? Right. Nothing much changes, but inside the app.js, where is it? App.js. We don't need a lot of things. Let's crfce, and then I save it. I should take care of all of the errors for us. Alright, so let's go back and do some cleanup. Inside the features counter, we don't need counter. Here we can delete. Let's delete. Let's delete the counter. So basically what we want is to get all the rooms and all of that. Let's check Redux to see if we have everything displaying as we want, coming in as we want. So yeah, we have the rooms, it's loading, false, all of that jazz. Okay, cool. So let's set up the route for the client. So inside the source folder we can also do pages, and then let's create one for home.jsx, no, that's supposed to be home, and then we put it in the folder. So let's rename this to home, and then let's create the JSX for it. So it's home JSX AFCE. Let's do h1 dot heading. Pretty much let's bring it to the center, and let's do home. Okay, we need home. We also would need rooms. New folder, we will need rooms, and then create the rooms JXS RFCE, and then h1 dot heading, that's center. I say rooms, and then we need another folder for a single room, and then pages. Let's create another folder for room JSX, like that. Oh, making some silly mistakes. Rename to room, create the JSX for it, and say room JSX FCE, same thing, and then h1 let's heading, and say room. So inside the app folder, app file, where we will bring in the route, close this. So let's bring in import browser router. That's router. We need the route, and then we need the route from React router done. Wait. From React router DOM. Do we have any errors? No errors. Okay, cool. So let's import our pages. Let's import home, like that, and import the rooms, like that, and then import room, like that. So the header comp, let's finish with setting up the browser route. So we say router will be that, and then when we hit we need the route, and when we need the route for path, which is we need the element to be home, the home component. Let's refresh. What are we getting wrong? We are not getting anything console. So HTTP, let's say localhost 3000. Yeah, this takes us to the home component. And then with this one, it takes it to, for rooms, I want to use the rooms component. And then when it is a single room, I want to use the /ID. I want to go for the single room. Right, so let's go back to the admin part, and then let's copy the header component. Yeah, let's copy this, and then let's bring it into the client side source folder. Let's create a new folder and say component. Then let's paste the header component. Paste the header component here, and then inside the header component, we do not need the user here. We also do not need to do all of this like that. So basically we're just navigating between room, home, and then rooms like that. And then yeah, which one? Let's bring this one, say 2. Let's navigate to that side. We don't need use dispatch. We don't need this one too as well. We don't need this too as well. We don't need use selector. Basically it's just a simple header. Alright, so let's go back to the app, and then let's bring in the header somewhere here. I should display our header for us. What is it saying? Dispatch is not defined. Header. Okay, we don't need the function for the logout. Okay. Did we import the header styles? Yes. Okay. Let's go back to the admin folder, and then inside the app.styles.scss, I think we pretty much need all of this for the basic styling. Let's copy this. Let's go back to the client. For the client, inside the source folder, let's rename this to change this to an SCSS, and then inside the app.js file, SCSS, let's copy everything and then paste this one here, and then inside the app.js, what I'd want to rather do is to create a new folder and say styles, and then put in the app into our styles. Where's our styles folder? Yeah. Okay. I don't need the test file. Let's delete this. Okay. So inside the app.js file, let's import the styles for that, and then let's import. That should be styles app. It's app.styles.scss. I should. Can't resolve. Wait. Let's rename this to app.styles. Okay. So inside the app.js, where is it? Let's close this. Close this. Don't save. App.js should be app.styles.scss, Yeah, so this takes us to home, takes us to rooms, home, takes us back to homes. Yeah. All right, so inside the rooms we will need the carousel too as well. Inside the rooms, what I'd want to do is that let's close some of the folders. What I'll need is also need room list. So let's go back to the client source folder component. I'll need the room list. Let's copy that. Let's go back to the client source folder. Up component. Let's paste that here. So basically in room list, what we need is the data for us to populate the room list like that. Okay, so inside the rooms pages, rooms pages, I'd want to import get rooms. Wait, let's check the Redux slice. Let's check the room slice to see if we have the get rooms. We have the create rooms. We don't really need the create rooms. We'll have to delete that. But we'll work on that later. So did we do get all rooms? Okay, so get rooms. Let's copy that and then come here and then let's import that action. Get rooms from the slice, and we need to import use dispatch from React Redux like that. And then we also will need use selector, and then we also need use effect, and then do we need use state from React. So inside the use effect, what I want to do is also bring in reset like that, and then I'd want to say const dispatch, use dispatch, and then when the room loads onto dispatch, get rooms. That should give us the list for the rooms. Oh, we forgot to do one thing by setting our proxy. So let's come back to the package.json in the client folder. Where is it? That should be package. Yeah, client for the client, and then down somewhere here, say proxy, and then we do HTTP localhost port 5000. And then let's reach that our server. Let's clear screen npm run dev client. Okay, everything is working. Let's check Redux to see if we can get our rooms. So just bring to the side Redux rooms. Yeah, we have the list of rooms here. Cool. All right, so what I'd want to do is also bring in do we need use selector, then we bring in the rooms. So we say const rooms will be equal to use selector. We have the state and state dot room, and then I'd also want to dispatch reset after that so that we get our state dispatch reset as well, so that we get our state back to the something like that, state back to the ordinary state that the initial state that we had. Okay, so let's check to see what we have in to see if we have the rooms. So we can say clg say rooms. That should give us the list of rooms. Okay, cool. So then we say we also will need to wait. Okay, so then we need to bring in room list. See room list. It's not important, so let's import room list from where are we? We are in the rooms. Come out. We need the component, the room list. Then we need the room list JSX file like that. Cannot resolve. Why is our carousel not working? Okay. We also need to bring in the carousel too as well. So inside the admin, inside the source folder component, we need the carousel, since the room list is also using the carousel. So we copy that, and then we go to the client component, and then let's paste. Yeah, that should fix the error. Cool. So then we can say that basically we can do the same thing for what we did for the client, the admin, and which will be in the pages. Source folder, pages, rooms, where is it? Rooms, yeah, like that. we can basically copy the return statement. Yeah, we can copy the return statement. We have this. We can copy this. Let's copy that. Yeah, okay, cool. So inside the client, we then can put in that. There's a lot of copying and pasting here. So I basically should render rooms for us. Cool. Cool. So then yeah. So if we should go to that, that should take us to the rooms with an ID. That location, rooms with an ID. So that's rooms all and an ID. So let's go to the app.js file and then fix the errors as I want to rooms, and I did all then had an ID. I should render the room component. Cool. All right, so in this situation, basically let's go back to the rooms again for the client, for the admin part. Yeah, and yeah, the room, copy some of the code that we have. Pretty much let's copy everything, copy here, and then let's close this, and that should bring us to the client room, and then let's put everything here and then go over the code for the room. All right, so we do not need this. So as that, what we also do is that we do not need the user, but we need the ID. Okay. Yeah, okay, pretty much that's what we need. Where's the error? I cannot resolve rooms or styles. Okay, we need these styles for the rooms as well. But let's go to the admin. Yeah, let's copy this. Come to the client. So I know there's not much coding, but that's the reason why if you structure your application properly, you tend to like enjoy using React. So let's paste that in here. Yeah, that should give us that. Okay, cool. So those are rooms. Okay. We are coming back to the rooms. Okay. What is happening? Package.json. I don't need that. Need to close this. Need to close this. Up. I don't need that. Okay, success. I don't want to navigate for now. I don't need this. Let's say which one is this? Yeah, cool. Go. That works. Rooms. Secretary. Go. So what we can now do is just say something like book now, or something. Text dropper. Okay. So we can have something like CTA wrapper. Then we have a button. Let's have a link tag rather. And then we say book now. And then let's say two bookings. And then let's do ID like that. Okay, so when that goes to that, we do not have route for that, so it's bookings with an ID. Right. So that will be let's say will be that bookings item dot underscore ID. Oh, that's pseudo item. That will be room underscore ID like that. So let's go back, refresh. Let's do property underscore. We haven't. Oh. That should be somewhere. Cut this one out. Price. Text dropper. Let's put you here. Will you be here? Yeah. So that takes us to that. So let's create the route for the booking. So inside the pages, let's create new folder. Let's say booking like that, and then let's do booking.gsx.ce h1.heading. Let's put it in the center. Let's say book book now. Let's save. So let's get the route for let's define the route for the booking. So that should be, let's say let's bring in booking and then let's say that should be bookings, like an ID. Yeah, cool. So inside the booking.js file, let's bring in use params to get the ID for the room ID. We say import use params, and then we can then say const ID will be the use params, and then let's import the use effect from React. Do we want to get the room? So let's start off by saying use effect. When the ID changes, basically, well, let's get the room, basically. Const get room will be an async function, and then let's run the get room function, and then let's say try catch. Then let's console.log the error message, and then in here we can say const rest is await. Let's fetch two rooms, right? Rooms with an ID. Let's say if const data will be await rest.json. If not rest, that's okay. Let's return, and let's console.log. There was a problem getting room. Let's make this bigger. Other than that, let's return data like that. What do we have? Oh no, we also would need use state, and then const room sets room equal to use state now for now. So when we are able to get the data, we just set the room with the data. All right, so let's check the console to see if we have the data. Let's refresh. What do we have? Localhost. Rooms. Let's get the room. Let's do the book now. Oh, sorry. It's supposed to be API/rooms. Let's refresh. Okay. So let's console.log room. That should get our room for us. Cool. All right. So in here we can say let's bring in our form. that, let's change this to room ID, and let's pass this to be room ID like that. And let's say, all right, so let's bring in the form. We don't need the action for now. And then let's do dot input group, and then label for name, and then we say this will be our name. Then input the type of text, so name will be name, value will be name, placeholder will be enter full name. Let's make this bigger. And then we have an unchange. We'll have to handle the change. So we also need to set the form data. So we say const form data, set form data. We use the state, and then we have the name to be that. We need the email to be that, and then checking date to be none, and then check out date to be none. So in here we say const name email checking date check out date. Let's do form data. Okay. What errors are we having? Oh, okay. We need to also define the handle change as well. So we say const handle change, pass the e and that. Handle change, that should work. So with the handle change, we say set form data. We need to pass the previous state, and then let's spread what's already in the previous state. And then we say e.target.name, and then we set the value as well, e.target.value like that. Why are we having this error? Oh, I always make this mistake. Like that. Cool. So let's complete the forms. So we have the for the name, yeah, and then we also will need one for email. Copy. Need one for the email, paste here, and then we say this will be for email, and then type text, name will be email, value will be email, enter your email address, and then that's it. And then what we need is check-in date, check-out date. Let's paste this one here. Then this will be type will be date, name will be checking date. What did we use? Checking date, checkout date. Okay. So that'll be checking date. What is it? Checking date. And the name will be check-in date. We don't need a placeholder. Yeah. So basically that's it. The label will be check-in date. See what we are getting. Are we getting that? Yeah. All right. Then we need another one for checkout date. And this one will be checkout date. This will be type of date. Checkout date. Checkout date. And we don't need the placeholder. Okay. What are we missing? We do checkout. Say checkout date, and this will be checkout date. Cool. I should sort our problems first. Let's refresh. Cool. So check-in date, the email check-in date, checkout date, and then we need a button to submit. Okay, so here we need the button type for submit, and say submit like that. Submit. Cool. So let's create the submit function by saying that on submit we handle submit like that. So in here let's define the handle submit function. Right. So either prevent default, and then let's also log and submit data like that. Already have done that. Okay, submit data. So we can say cause data to submit equals to room ID. I need the room ID. I need the name. I need the email. I need a check-in date. I need the check-out date. And console log data to submit like that. So let's come in and fill in some forms. Let's write some email, check-in date, checkout date, and then submit. Cool. Let's check we have all of that. Okay, so let's go into our slice. Let's create a slice for the create booking. So inside the features, I would say new folder, say booking, right? Then I'll create a new file and I'll say booking. That's booking slice.js. And let's import create slice, and then create a sync thunk like that. And then let's say initial state equals to, let's say booking, let's say now, and it's loading, false is success, true is error, false, sorry, I think we should do this, false. And then the message will be an empty string. Re-export const booking slice will be create slice, name will be booking, and we pass the initial state reduces, let's have a reset state, and then we say state that is loading, false state is success, false state is error, false state dot message equals to an empty message. Why do we have this? That's great. Then have the extra reducers, which will take a builder, and then we add our cases. Add cases here. Okay, so we then export our actions. And then we export our reducer. Like that. Do we have any errors? Okay, so inside our store, let's bring in the booking reducer. So let's import booking reducer from you need to go into features, booking slice. Okay, and then in here I'll say booking, I need a booking reducer. Simple as that. Cool. Let's refresh. Cool. So inside the booking reducer, inside the booking slice, I'll create a thunk function for export create booking to be a create async thunk, and in here for the name will be booking create, and then pass on a sync function with the booking data, and then the thunk API, like that. And then from there, export const, we do our try catch, and then return thunk API.reject with value error dot message, and then const, we do our rest will be our wait fetch request from /API/ bookings, and then we'll need the room ID, but then what we can do is we can get the room ID, and then from the booking data. Alright, so we do that. Yeah, and then we passing the say content type will be application JSON, and then the method is post, and then the body will be JSON stringify, room ID. Let's spread the rest, so put everything back together again, because we need the room ID. Let's refresh so that we get it wrong. How's it? Okay. So we need the room ID. From that, create the thunk function booking create booking data thunk API. We make a fetch request to /API/ bookings. Oh, we actually don't need this. We don't need that, because it's going to be a post to API bookings, and we don't need the room ID. Sorry. /API/ bookings, and then we basically will only need room. We need a room data in it. I mean booking data, like that. Sorry. Alright, so in here we say if not res dot okay return. Let's first transform this to a JSON. So we say return func API dot reject with value with the data. Let's return. Other than that, return the data if it is successful, like that. Okay. I think this is the reason why people do not like using Redux, because you end up writing a lot of code for your Redux in it. Okay. No errors. Alright, so let's bring in let's go over the code before we move on. So create booking, we export it, which will be that bookings create booking data. We need the booking data, which will be you pass from the front end, and then the tank API. So I'll wait first /API bookings. The various parameters will be the headers, the content type, application and data. The method will be post. The body will be stringify the booking data, and then for the data response that we are getting from the server, we have to pass it as a JSON, but then we have to check if the request was successful. If it is not, let's return the tank API, reject with value data, All right. Okay, so let's also create the cases for when the it's successful. So you can say builder dot add case, create booking dot pending. So you have the state, say state that is loading will be true. Then we add another case. And then we say create bookings that fulfilled. We have a state, then action, and then we say state that is loading will be false. State that is success will be true, and state that booking will be action pay, like that. And then let's situation whereby we have a false, we add a case, create booking that's rejected, pass the state, and then the action, and then we say state that is loading to be false, and state that is error to be true, and then state message will be action that pay, like that. Alright, so basically we are complete with the slice. So let's copy the function and then come in here and then bring in the use dispatch. Okay, so let's bring in the create booking like that. Then let's bring in use dispatch like that, and I want to bring in the use selector too as well. All right, from there I can say const dispatch. What's the use dispatch? And then const is success. I want to bring in if it's successful from use selector, passing the state dot booking. So basically we are getting all of that from these states. Refresh. Okay, so let's bring in use effect and say where is it? Okay, let's bring in use effect and say if it is successful, navigate to let's the dependency will be if success. Let's say if it's success. Let's navigate. We've not defined this function. Let's take it to the home, and then dispatch reset. So we need to bring in the dispatch and then navigate function. So use navigate, we can get that from the React router DOM. So we say use navigate, and then we say const navigate. We use navigate like that. Do we have any errors? Reset. Okay, we need to bring in reset too as well. So if it is successful, where is it? If it's successful, we dispatch the reset, then we navigate to the home, and then from there, we, after handling the submit, let's dispatch create booking data with the data to submit like that. Okay. So let's create the name test, email test@gmail.com, check-in date. Let's pick a check-in date of, let's say, that, and then checkout date of, let's say, that, and dispatch. We have a problem. Localhost could not let's check the Redux to see what exactly is the problem. Redux booking, no, false, it's error true, great, rejected. Okay, cool. So the error is coming from here, API / content type application that JSON method is supposed. Okay, let's go back to the server to see what exactly we have to do, what we are doing wrong actually. So controller, booking controller, and then let's say create booking, get bookings, create bookings. Okay, custom body. Let's check the routes. We don't need to be authenticated first. Yeah. Cool. Rather than saying going to the home page, let's create a page for the success. Let's go here, pages, source folder, pages, and let's create a new folder and say success. New folder and say success, and then let's create a file and then say success.jsx rafce sticks rafce, and then save this, and then h1.heading.success. So let's bring it to the center. Let's say you have successfully created a book. You have successfully, I say made your, actually no, let's say booking successful. Let's something like that. So instead of having to go back to that, we don't need the route. We don't need the slides for now. Yeah, instead of having to go back to, let's navigate to success like that, and then let's come back to the app page. Let's come to the app page, and with the, where are we? This is the client. Okay, so when we get the success, I want to use the success component. Okay, so let's go to rooms for now. Okay, let's click on the room, and then let's say book now. Enter your enter full name, like let's say King James, email King, let's say king@gmail.com, check-in date, so the check-in date, and then the checkout date, some other date. Yeah, booking successful. Cool. So let's create another roundup like that. So let's do Nesta@gmail.com. Just do a check-in date, checkout date. You might as well, like, we'll have to implement some logic for having to check if the check-in date is in the past and all of those things. But if I should do that, that would make the tutorial like really long. All right, so pretty much we've been able to create and then make bookings. But what we also would need to do is that we need to view the bookings from the administrative end. So let's come here and stop the server from running, and then do npm dev admin. Let's go to the server part. Okay, cool. So this is the admin side, and then for the admin, what I want to do is when I log in as the admin, I'd want to be able to see the bookings for the bookings that we have. So inside the dashboard, let's go to the dashboard. But before that, let's bring in, we pretty much will need the same thing for the Redux. So features, booking, let's copy the slice. Yeah. And then inside the admin, then features, we need to paste the slice in here. Pretty much that. So inside the store, what do we have the store? Yeah, let's bring in the booking reducer. So let's say import booking reducer from, go to features, booking slice, like that. So in here, then I can say booking and booking reducer, like that, basically. Yeah. Okay, cool. So inside the booking reducer, for the admin, I can do something like get bookings. Are we in the admin? Yeah, inside the admin, and then inside the booking slice, let's still maintain the create booking, but also let's say export const get bookings will be create async tank. I'll be booking get bookings. I'll be on async tank. So I'll be on async. We don't need that. Then we need the tank API. And then let's have our try catch and return tank API that rejects with value message. And then with this one, we say const response will be await, we do the fetch /API /bookings. Yeah. And then let's pass the response that we get with res.json. And then if not res that okay, return tank API that reject with value with data. Other than that, let's return the data. The initial state, I think I also would want to add something like bookings with an array and that. Okay. All right. So we are pretty much set. Get bookings. All right. Let's define the cases then, and then we say dot add case get bookings dot pending. We have our state, and we say state that is loading to be true, and then let's add another case. Right, add case that get bookings dot fulfilled. We pass the state and then action, and then we say state dot is loading to be false, state dot bookings equals to action dot payload, and then we say state dot is success to be true, like that. Cool. So let's add a case for the rejected dot add case get bookings that rejected, pass the state, and then an action, and then we say state that is loading to be false, and then state that is error to be true, and then state that message will be an action that pay load, like that. Cool. Do we have any errors? All right, so inside the dashboard, when I get to the dashboard, I just want to get all the bookings, that's all. But you can as well create maybe a different component to load the bookings when the admin gets to the dashboard. So inside the admin page, on the pages dashboard GXX, what I want to do is that I'd want to bring in the, do you have use effect? Okay, so I'd want to dispatch, get bookings, like that. And then what does it say? Dispatch is, what does it say? Dispatch is not defined. Oh, spelled it wrong. Okay. Let's see Redux, what we have. Inside Redux bookings. Yeah, that should give us the bookings, room ID, all of that. All right. But inside the server, what I'd want to do is that I'd want to also populate this room ID here. What do I mean by that? Let's go back to the server as well, and then say that, where is it? Let's minimize this. So let's come into our server and controller bookends. So when I say get all bookends, where is it? Get bookends, like that. I'll also do like that, populate room ID, like that, so that I can get the names for the various rooms with that ID. So that should give us the, instead of having the an ID, we see we have the name for that, like that. Cool. All right, so what then do we do? All right, so let's bring in the rooms, and then let's render the bookings. So in here we can say we don't need this, we are on the dashboard. Let's close some of the pages. Let's close store, let's close this. We don't need success, we don't need this, we don't need that, don't need this. So inside the dashboard, let's bring in use selector. Do you have use selector? Okay, cool. Then we can say const bookings equals to, will be equals to, use selector, passing the state dot bookings, booking, like that. All right. So we can say bookings length greater than 0. Do something other than that. Just do nothing. So let's say render bookings like that. Alright, so what I'd want to also just create a component for the booking list. So let's say booking list, and then let's create, let's say booking list.jsx array fce ce fce, and then okay, let's do h1 dot add in center, say booking list. So let's bring in this component. Let's bring in this component inside the dashboard here, and then let's bring in booking list. Like that. So we then would render the booking list, and then our passing the data will be bookings like that. Cool. So we have the booking list like that. So in here, what I'd want to do is to render a table. Okay, I don't need this. So I want to render a table. Let's do render table like that. So quickly, what I'd want to do is let's move to ChatGPT, and then we say let me say act as an expert in React and render a table with value with fields. Let's do name, email, room name, and then an action field. Yeah, so basically this is what we have. So let's say add SCSS and make it responsive, something like that. So let's copy this. Then let's come here, booking list. Let's make this one an SCSS file. So we say booking list.styles.scss. Then let's paste in this, and then let's come to here. Then let's also import booking list.style.scss. Yeah, cool. And then with the table, let's bring in this table. Let's say let's take all of this. Let's copy this. And then in the return statement, let's paste this here. We don't, do we need the return? Let's pass in the data here. Yeah. Return an email. Return that room ID name. Yeah. And then I don't want an edit function. Let's say data table. Okay, let's copy this. And then let's paste it here. And then let's do booking list of styles SCSS. And let's change this to booking list like that. Export this to be booking list. Booking list. Do we have any errors? No errors yet. Cool. So in here we can just bring in the data. Instead of having this as our data, we already have our data coming in. So let's bring in our data here. And then inside the item dot underscore ID, then this will be item dot name, item dot email, room ID dot name, and then it should be underscore ID, underscore ID. Basically, do we have any errors? What else do we have? Yeah, we basically have our data here. So let's change this to view the booking. So let's go change. We don't need the delete. So what we can do is let's say have a link tag to, let's have a link tag like that. And then say view, say to booking item dot underscore ID. So something like that. What do we have? Link is a void element. So it should be link like that. And let's import the import link from link from React router, like that. It is not defined. Yeah. Cool. So that gets us all the bookings, but what I'd also want to do is to put this in a container to wrap everything in the middle, sort of. Let's take this one out, cut, and then we do the container, and then put everything in here. Save. Okay, so that makes it a bit readable. So we can just go ahead and then so when we click on the view, that should take us to another route with the, it should be bookings/ID. I want to do bookings/ID, like that. So I should refresh that. Let's go back, refresh. So let's create for another folder for the booking. So inside the pages, we can say new folder, say booking. Then we can say booking.js, like that. refce, like that. So can do h1.heading center, then say booking. So in here, then we can define the route for the booking. So let's come up and then let's go to the app.js. Yeah, and then we can say that we can do bookings with the ID. I would want to use the booking component. Cool. So on review, I'll say see the booking, and then inside the booking, where is it? Inside this one, let's bring in use effect from React, and then we as well need to bring in use state. Let's say use state. So when we use effect, that I would say get booking, say const get booking, like that, and then run the get booking function, and then I'll need to bring in some state first. So I'll say const booking set booking use. You can actually do this with Redux, but I don't feel like going through all of that, like that. Then we can say fetch const. Let's do a try catch, and then we say const s goes to await fetch / bookings ID. We need to bring in the use params. Use params. Use params from React router. Done. and we say that const id equals to use params like that. Okay, so there are various ways you can actually do this, so you can just get the ID from that and filter through, then find the bookings that you have already instated and set the this will be an async function, and then you can say const data be await res.json, and let's return data. Let's set booking to be data. In this case, let's do console.log error message like that. Do we have any errors? Okay, no errors. So in here we can say something like say booking, and then let's pass a div, and do h1 dot heading, something like that. You have to do name, what is that? Right from / yeah, bookings with an ID. Yeah. Then let's put this into the center. Let's have something like, for now, let's have something like text wrapper. Then we can wrap up the tutorial for it. So we say the text wrapper like that. And let's put you here. And then p.email. Let's have the booking.email. Sorry. Then we check out date. Checkout will be booking check out. We have check out day. Cool. And then let's do check-in first. Yeah. Basically, so we basically have, and then the room type will be, let's say let's have that, so say room type. Do we let's do also let's log, let's do booking. So then let's refresh. Okay, so checking. Right. room ID. Okay. So for the single booking tool as well, I'd want to also populate the room ID. So let's go back to the server. Let's booking controller. So when we are getting a single room, update. That's that. Delayed booking. Yeah. Find by ID, and then like that. Yeah. So in here, I don't need this. Let's close some of the files so we can. So okay. So we can say room ID dot name like that. So that gives us the deluxe kind of situation. All right, so I'll just wrap up the today's tutorial here, and then the next time that we meet, we probably will. Let's go to the rooms. Let's go to the dashboard. Let's go to the dashboard. Yeah, that gets us all the rooms. Yeah, that's that. Like that. And then this one is what? King James. Yeah, cool. Alright, so the next time we just have to work on a little bit of the UI, makes it looks a little bit clean and all of that. Alright, so it's been an amazing walkthrough tutorial, and then we've done a solid job so far, in my opinion. Yeah, that's all of that. Okay, so alright, so thank you for watching, and goodbye.